For you guys playing at home, Melbourne is absolutely screwed right now. We're having a massive coronavirus breakout, so I've actually run across the border to Adelaide, where I'm originally from. So it's been good to see my family, but as a result, I've been in isolation in a caravan for 2 weeks. I'm gonna jump in on upper body day today. We're gonna run through mostly back, but I wanna start by running through face pulls. Face pulls are a really good exercise, but they're also often very badly performed. Quite a technical exercise, so hopefully by the end of the video today, you'll have a little bit more understanding of what you're trying to achieve and how to perform them correctly. My first session back in 2 weeks, so let's get into it. We're going to start today with just some lat pullovers. A really important thing that I was saying to Josh, and something that most people don't know that I think everyone should know, I wish more people knew, is that when you're using a cable, the most tension is going to be when it's about at 90 degrees from the cable. So what I mean by this is, take a couple of steps back there. When we're doing a lat pullover, everyone wants to pull all the way down here. But the most tension is actually going to be at about 90 degrees from the cable. So this position here is going to be when the lat's under the most tension and a little bit less tension, but shortening the muscle when it's here. So don't rush the movement. Spend some time focusing through that midpoint. So a couple of exercises that are really good for posture, upper back, and really anyone that gets headaches. A lot of females get ongoing headaches that they never really address. A lot of the times it is from imbalances within the upper back, and a lot of times undertraining of the neck can be a really important factor in that. We're gonna go through 2 face pull variations, and for me it's really important to differentiate between face pulls when you're doing them. The first one we're gonna go through is an external rotation focused face pull. So this position here, externally rotating up. A lot of people get that movement wrong because they actually confuse external rotation with dropping of the elbow. If you're going to train strict external rotation, or if you're going to train external rotation at all, you really want to make sure that this axis is nice and locked before you move. Even if you're down here, you still want to make sure that that axis is strict so that we're actually getting external rotation. So the first face pull is going to look like this. Now, I like a split stance here, 1 foot in front of the other, so that you can tell if you're leaning back. Weight on the front foot. First thing you're going to do is come up and focus on pulling the forehead up here. So I'm focusing on elbows opening up really wide, but it's really important that from the starting position, my elbows are lifting the whole time. Same with my hands and wrists. So here, up. Now, when you first start, you'll be pretty weak through that position. I like using an overhand grip for that one, and just start off light, focus on that really good squeeze through the upper back. The second version is going to be a bit more focused on the rhomboids, clear the traps, and just retraction of the shoulder blade. So for this one, you can go hands in that underhand grip there. Same setup. And then from there, just focusing on the elbows coming as wide as you can. Don't focus on pulling back, on the elbows to come out. Slight lean forward, it's my personal preference, and then elbows driving out wide. Really good movements. We're gonna go through a variation of a Y fly here, and I really like these ones to open up your pecs. They open up pec minor. Again, a really good exercise for people who have just been sitting down for too long. It's a weird position, it's a weak position for most people, and it's one of the reasons why so many people get a lot stronger and a lot more stable from actually working through this. It's really, really good for building up chest, building up your front delts, and I find it does a lot of postural correction. It will actually help reset, again, support the neck in kind of resetting some of those headaches that people get. So we're going to set up as you would, almost missed the chair there. For a Y fly, you're gonna come down here, set up like you would for a normal fly. What you're gonna do there is then come out, so a standard kind of Y fly is gonna be here. Right? Now, personal trainers and exercise physiologists are not very clever when it comes to naming exercises, so if you can't tell, it's called a Y fly because you're actually setting up like a Y, all right? So we want to come down here, opening up into that position. Start off light with this one, but I actually like kind of unrolling the arms as you start. So I'll go supinated grip here, palms facing up, and then slight bend in the elbows, opening up wide, letting the elbows flare, and then coming up. An exercise I really like is a single arm cable row. It's really good because there's a lot of stability in this one, so you can really lock yourself in place and focus on the movement. We're gonna start with your leg up, same leg, same side. The reason I like to do that is because your lat attaches across the hip. So when I bring my foot up here, I'm already lengthening out that lat, which means that when I row in, I'm gonna be able to really shorten here and get a really good contraction in the lat. There's nothing wrong with doing it on the other side, but I find people will cheat a lot. So what I normally like to do is actually program people their first few phases on the same side, and then once they're a bit better at controlling the movement, progressing to the other side where you'll naturally cheat, swing a little bit and use a bit more weight. So we're gonna go through this one here today, same side, and all I really wanna focus on, letting that shoulder come forward, feeling that lat stretch, and then driving the elbow down, hard, pulling to wherever I can. You won't need a lot of weight, this is hard. Focusing on elbow coming down and getting a nice contraction. Don't worry about trying to get the elbow behind you. I want shoulder, elbow, and hand a little bit down towards the ground. The other thing I like with this one is pretend you got a laser pointer in the middle of your chest. You're gonna try and point that a little bit up the whole time. That'll stop you from rolling in on the movement. Nice and strict. Until your face goes nice and red. Rear delts can be really tricky to train for a lot of people. If you do have access to a rear delt fly machine, they're a really, really good tool. This one that we're doing is not chest supported, so that's fine. I actually prefer the chest supported ones. But I don't like these handles. The thing is, where your arm, the rotation of your arm is going to dictate which of the delt fibers, which of the shoulder fibers you're going to prioritize. Going a neutral grip like this often forces you to over grip here. You're going to drop your elbow and you're actually going to use more mid delt or like trap to actually pull the rep back. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna get these loose D handles and set them up here so that I can emphasize the elbows coming out throughout the whole movement here. So you won't need much weight on this, just lock yourself in, pulling the elbows as wide as you can. You probably won't get your elbows behind you. If you are, you may not be doing it right. So just make sure that as you're pulling the elbows out, we're not dropping the elbows down to get further back. I like to think about elbows out and a little bit up towards that end range. And these will get very hard, very quick. What I like to do on an exercise like this, where you can't move a lot of weight, is finish off with a 30-second hold. Just making sure you're really in that good position. These aren't much fun. I'm sure I'm not making them look like much fun either. Thinking about elbows high and reaching out. It's a really good rear delt exercise to finish off on. But that's one of the things with, like, you know, some of the vlog stuff I was doing as well, is like, I'm trying to work in some actual education content there as well. So it's not just me doing my little strip show in front of the camera for other fans.